Hello, and welcome to Badass Moms, brought to you by the Holistic Therapies Directory. I'm Nicole Cruz, super busy mommy coach. I'm really excited because I'm starting a new series within the podcast where I'm going to bring on real live moms in some of the toughest situations, single moms, moms in crisis. And we're going to do live coaching sessions. And my hope is that every mom who's listening will be able to find a mom that she can relate to in order to get some tips for her own life. So today, I want to welcome Julie Barker from Seattle. Hi, Julie.
Hi, thanks for having
How you
me.
doing?
I'm good, all things considered. I'm well. Just
Awesome. Yeah.
adjusting to quarantine life.
Totally. How's that been going for you? Over in Seattle, which we were just mentioning was the epicenter in the United States.
Um, it's not as bad as it seems on the media, I guess, from day-to-day life. But as we kind of talked about earlier, I think primarily it's affecting all of our healthcare workers in the area. It is really interesting that when we go to the store, like all the procedures have changed, and it's you have to wait in line to get in and wear masks and gloves. And what's been challenging for myself personally is my college has been shut down. So I'm a single mom of a 2-year-old little girl. And when I say single mom, I mean like I would have never been with her dad. So it's always just been me and her. And he only sees her like once a week. So I have her all the time. And I'm also a full-time college student. So the college has been shut down, which means I'm doing all classes via Zoom, which I'm not a virtual learner, so that's been a struggle. And the daycares are closed. So I have a 2-year-old running around who she may make an appearance if she wakes up from nap. You might get to meet her. So that's definitely been a major adjustment for the whole quarantine thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you're going to school online. You have your 2-year-old around. Are you working at all besides that, or is everything just
No, I
shut down?
actually had started training for the tutoring center at my college, but I couldn't make it all work between all of the hours that they wanted and childcare, and it just so I've just been I live with family while I'm going to school, so that allows me to not work. Um, I don't know how people do it when they're working full time and going to school full time and have little ones. I mean, my hat's off to them because I don't think I could excel at school if I had all of that. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely gets tough. Um, and so, I mean, I know a bit about your situation, but for those who don't, what are you studying?
I am actually studying psychology. It's the long haul 'cause I don't want to go into like marketing psychology. I actually will go on to earn my master's and work as a licensed marriage and family therapist. And then eventually complete a doctorate to be a clinical psychologist, um, or a doctorate in clinical psychology, but I'd prefer to be more of a counseling psychologist. And in addition to that, I'm pretty passionate about like shamanic energy medicine. So I'm starting a shamanic energy training um, with a shaman I've worked with for about a year and a half. I start that in a few weeks. So that'll be another thing in my schedule. So I kind of hope to marry Western psychology with some of the Eastern and indigenous energy practices. So a
That's
lot of
awesome.
school.
Yeah. So can you talk a little bit about shamanic energy practice? What's that like? What does that mean for people who've never heard of it?
Um, so I think most people um, at this point have heard about chakras and our energetic system and how our energetic body can retain trauma. So we can have emotional traumas throughout the course of our life, and it's kind of imprints in our energy. And shamanic traditions kind of help to release those energetic imprints and um, help us to work around the emotional ties to the traumas um, or the feelings, but the energetic imprint is removed so that you're actually able to move forward. You don't feel like you're being kind of dragged back by old traumas. Um, it's been really helpful and effective for me in my personal life, and so I just became really passionate about it, and can see how that ties into what I want to do in this field of psychology. So
Yeah, totally. It's a really interesting combination too. I wonder how many other people are doing something like that.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of. I follow a few people on Instagram, like the Holistic Psychologist, and I think the other one is the Mindful MFT. Um, they marry like breath work and meditation practices and things like that, which is awesome. But as far as like shamanic energy and things that are a little more woo woo, I guess, I'm not really sure. I do know that like dialectical behavior therapy is something that was introduced in the late 80s, I think, that married Eastern mindfulness practices, meditation, breath work, um, and kind of similar Eastern practices with behaviorism psychology. So there's a little bit, but I really want to expand on it, and I hope to just introduce lots of people to it because it's been really transformational for me. So
So you can end up being a pioneer in this new
we'll
field.
see.
That'd be really cool. Sweet. So
Yeah.
yeah, you've given a little bit about your background. Talk a little bit about the situation you're facing right now.
So right now I'm having a hard time committing to taking good care of myself, I guess. I'm finding that having my daughter full-time daycare so that I could be in class and do homework, and that's not the case now. So currently I'm kind of struggling with caring for her 24 hours a day, also doing full-time class schedule, and finding time for food and sleep and meditation and exercise. So
Oh, we could
I
just cut
just
out food. Who needs that?
no. Don't tempt me because I sometimes do forget to eat.
Full disclosure, I have not eaten yet today. I'm in New York City. It's 4:29 p.m.
I understand.
Yeah, totally. I'll say I was fasting, like it was intentional or something.
Perfect. I tell my mom, it's intermittent fasting, mom.
Yeah, I actually like usually follow an intermittent fasting type of schedule, and it's and then I usually like to throw in like a 24-hour fast, say like once or twice a month. And usually it happens without me having to really try to fit it in.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
when you're
so
busy,
things are
figure that out.
so yeah, things are definitely pretty crazy right now. You're in quarantine. Like a lot
Mhm.
of people right now. You're living with family. So I know that you don't always have full control over the food shopping situation.
Yeah, that can be a challenge. Um, Fortunately, um, my daughter, I mean, not fortunately, but my daughter has developed a few food sensitivities, which makes family members more cooperative, I guess, with some of the things that we have to cut out now. They don't cut them out, but it's less of an issue for us to have like separate groceries and separate meal prep. Um, an example, I myself, I can't have dairy, or really nuts too much, I get a really bad inflammation response, like a histamine response, and so I can't do that. My daughter can't have dairy um, at all, really, which is horrible because the kid loves cheese, like I think all kids. But
Mhm.
um, so that can be a challenge because where I'm trying to cut out sugars and you know carbs, processed foods. Um, there are people eating waffles for breakfast and Doritos for snack. And so that's one of the things that I try that I kind of struggle with Liliana is that I want to teach her healthy snacking and healthy habits around food. So that can be a challenge. While it's been absolutely a blessing to live with my parents, with my family while I'm going to school, there it does have its challenges as far as getting and staying healthy because it's really easy to just um, go downstairs after a long day of doing Zoom classes and running for dinner. It's already done. We can just eat it. So that can definitely be a challenge. Is, making sure that I'm finding the energy and the time to fix more healthful meals every day.
Yeah. So what's your system like for food? Like, do you cook every day? Do you meal prep once or twice a week?
Cook every day usually. My mom and I kind of alternate. We take turns. Um, and once or twice a week we'll have a fend for yourself day for the household, which is kind of there's leftovers or fix yourself a sandwich. um, but it's right now it's really just been looking in the morning at, okay, what do we have, what do we pull out of the freezer, and what do we need to use before it goes bad, and fixing that. And so it's been kind of a winging it. Yes.
Okay. Do you have any say in the food shopping that happens?
Yes. Yeah, I could have more of a say, I guess. I've been a little more hands off the last few weeks, but um my family's typically receptive to meal planning and prepping. If I do it, then everybody is fine with eating it. So um as long as it's not, so restrictive that it's changing their whole diet. If I come home and I say I'm only fixing vegan meals for the rest of forever, I'm going to get some pushback.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
healthful, healthy meals, it would be fine. It's just finding uh, uh, kind of I find it challenging to do those things with my 2-year-old running amok. I'm trying to meal prep and get her fed and in bath and in bed, and then I have homework due in 2 hours. And so that's kind of the struggle that I come up against.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
definitely easier for me to be like, okay, mom, if you're going to the store, you put your mask on and your gloves and your Clorox wipes, and so
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about that a little bit because I'm wondering if there could be sort of a routine, or even if it's not always a routine, just sort of a quick and easy menu to choose from that can mean that there's less decisions to be made. It's a little bit more automatic and it's something flexible. Um, and so some of the things I'm thinking of, and you can let me know if any of these resonate with you. But there could be meals where parts of it are kept a little bit more separate and people put it together on their own. So, for example, if you were to do like taco or fajita night. Like the fajita, if you have, say lean grass fed meat and a bunch of veggies, and then you could have some salad greens, and they don't have to touch that if they don't want to. And then you could also have your cheese and your nacho taco shells or whatever, and they can totally touch those. But like a few different things for people to choose from. I've Another thing is I feel like almost any hot meal can be thrown over greens to stretch it out longer.
That's been one of the big things that I think I learned from you when I did the Super Busy Mommy program. I think that's been about a year ago now, was just to put it over greens or make a bowl, like make a taco bowl. So I've carried that over from the program, is that when we're having, taco night with um, tortillas and all this other stuff, carbs and things that really aren't necessarily so healthy, I try and make some changes like that, put it with a salad or have a taco bowl. So I'm getting the protein and the veggies, but not everything else. Um, so yeah, that's definitely something that is helpful.
Mhm.
Just try and separate it out.
Okay, so sounds like someone just mentioned they're hearing an echo. I know I'm hearing a little bit of one. Would you be able to mute one of your devices? It might help with the
Is that
echo.
better? Um,
Mhm.
I have my computer muted.
Okay. Yeah, that's weird. It's still going. I have my phone muted. I can't mute both because then I can't hear you. um, let me. Okay, I'm bringing down. I'm gonna try the reverse on my end and see if that helps. Okay. How's that? Can you still hear me?
Yep, I can still hear you.
Okay, so now I'm hearing you through the phone, and I think the echo's disappeared. Has it disappeared on your end?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Thank you, Anna, for bringing that up.
Thank you.
Cool. So anyway, yeah, putting over greens, separating out. Okay. Um, yeah, I feel like salads are a big one because it's so easy to just have those on hand and it doesn't require very much prep. And I know budget is a concern, but if you can splurge, or if your family can splurge on like cut up things that are cut up already, that can make it literally no prep. Like if you have cherry tomatoes, those are easy. If you have shredded carrots, those are easy. If you have already chopped up peppers or red onions or broccoli florets, those are easy too. And then it's really just about cooking the meat. And so if on the days you meal prepped, you had the healthier option and kind of like dragged it out a little bit more so that there's enough for you and for Liliana tomorrow, then even if they cook something that isn't as healthy, you might be able to kind of stay on without necessarily having to cook twice as much.
Okay.
Yeah, and even it can help to cycle a bit with the foods you eat, with the amount of calories or carb cycling. I don't know if you've heard of carb cycling.
A little bit. I have actually found that to be kind of important. I don't know if it's my body type or my metabolism or what it is, but I've found that when I stick to like a really strict low carb, that I lose a lot of weight for about 2 weeks and then I plateau. And then if I have a cheat meal, which everybody has different versions of the cheat meal. When I say cheat meal, it's like it's not going crazy. It's just having something that I want. Like I'll have the bread or I'll have the spaghetti. Then I find that my body starts losing again. So it's like that little bit of carb spike brings it. So is that carb cycling or similar?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't think some people do it very precisely, like they'll actually count macros every day. But I found that even just, knowing like, so let's say you had a more fuller meal with the carbs, like healthy carbs, whether from potatoes or whole grains or whatnot, when you cooked, and then the next day you just took some of the leftover, let's say there was some sort of meat or like a stew or something like that, and then the next day threw it over a salad, so that you're not cooking that much extra. But that's kind of like working in sort of a carb cycling without even trying. And so you might even see a benefit.
Okay. Yeah, well, and that's one of the things about making something like spaghetti is that then you have leftovers. Get it out of here. I can't have it.
Yeah, or like, Eric loves to like bake cookies and stuff like that. And granted, stuff like that is definitely a treat even for him. I make it all from scratch, so it's a matter of the amount as opposed to putting harmful substances in our body. But then there's like anytime I want to make a cake or a batch of something, there are leftovers.
Exactly.
I'm like throwing them in the freezer, so at least there's like a little bit of an obstacle to it. But
Yeah.
and then he knows it's in the freezer, which is never good. Yeah, totally. As far as like the easiest meals to cook, do you ever do stews?
Here and there. Um, a lot more in the winter, but they're like a meat and potato stew or um, like a ham and potato. There's always potatoes in there.
Mhm.
Although I did see one on Instagram that I wanted to try, and it was John Kemp posted one that looked really good and was primarily just veggies and meat. So um, I should probably find more stew recipes that don't have potatoes.
Yeah, I mean, also, I feel like I like stews because they're so easy to improvise. Like, I'll be at work and someone will be like, "Oh, what did you make?" And I'm like, "Oh, stew a la whatever was in my refrigerator at the time." You know? So I feel like, basic formula for a stew, you take some, sturdier veggies. You don't want to, like, I wouldn't put spinach in a stew, like peppers or, you said, like, potatoes. I'll get the baby potatoes and literally just they come in a net. And so I'll usually just rinse them off and
Mhm.
throw them in like that. Anna's saying, yes, sweet potatoes for sure. You can chop up potatoes. It'll be a little bit starchier as it dissolves in. So it depends if you like that consistency. Personally, I like it more like a broth, like an actual broth, and that's why I like the baby potatoes. But either way is totally fine. So like, yeah, you get some meat. Chop as little as possible if you need to save time. Like your family members, except for Liliana, they're all grown ups. Chop their own foods. So,
Yeah.
like if you can get, again, I know sometimes it costs more, so budget can be a constraint. But the more you can get, like chicken tenders that are already chopped up, just throw them in a whole. People can cut them up themselves. If you can get pre-chopped vegetables, even frozen if you have to compromise. Personally, I think it tastes so much better with the fresh stuff. But
Yeah.
I'll definitely like some people are like, I don't have time to cut fresh vegetables. I can't afford to buy pre-cut vegetables. Frozen vegetables are cheaper, and you can get
Mhm.
stuff like that and throw it in. Yeah, quinoa. That's another good one, Anna.
I love quinoa. Yeah.
Yeah, so usually personally I like the grains separate because I feel like they can soak up too much and get mushier. So a lot of times I'll make it on the side and then throw it in when I'm serving it. And that's another way to separate out your carb days versus your not carb days. Because then whatever leftover stew you have, you can throw that over greens, put some shredded cabbage, a couple cherry tomatoes, and there you go. Nice simple meal.
Mhm.
What does Liliana eat out of all of this? Or do you have to cook separately for her?
Um, she eats whatever we're having. Um, just some nights she eats better than others. um, she tends to do pretty good with protein, so she likes the meat or the fish. And then fruit. Her big thing is applesauce right now. She just wants applesauce with everything. Um, but usually she'll eat whatever we're having. Um, as long as everyone else is eating it. Now, if her pop refuses to eat his peas, then she's gonna put up a fight on eating her peas. So,
Oh.
yeah, so there's a little bit of that going on where I have to sit her separately and look, mommy's eating it. It's your turn. So, she's pretty good. She's not too terribly picky.
Do you give her the applesauce in the pouches?
Yes, she has applesauce in pouches right now. We get the organic from Costco, and she's obsessed with them.
So the good thing about that is when you get her used to the pouches, then it could be easier to get her to try other pouches, like the baby foods with the mixed fruits and veggies. Oh my God, those were lifesaver. Eric still likes those. I love it. And now he's old enough, he'll literally climb on the kitchen counter to open the cabinet. He's like, Mommy, I'm gonna go get a pouch. I'm gonna do it by myself. And he'll climb up and he can read now. Yeah, for those listening who don't know, he's 5 years old now. So he can read and he'll be like, nope, I don't want this one. He'll pick out exactly the one he wants. And I'm happy.
Feeding himself, and
It's like easy for me. They're easy to bring on the go. And he, except for broccoli, he won't eat any vegetables on a plate. He used to be so good, and then send him off to school, and other people, like now he's when he started staying with his dad, and everyone has different practices, and so things changed, his taste changed. There's also that picky 4-year-old stage where they all of a sudden only want to eat 1 or 2 foods. It happens, and he's starting to slowly come out of that a little bit, but not really yet. But yeah, I mean, those have been an absolute lifesaver for me, and I think if you just, here's an applesauce patch, and then here's one that has apples and pears.
Avocado and quinoa.
Yeah, it's like here's one with apples and pears and vegetables mixed in, and slowly, oh my God. Totally. So yeah, those are a lifesaver, and they're quick and easy for her. But again, I know for some people, like those pouches, over here in New York, they're $1.50, $2 each, and that can be prohibitive for some people. You can always puree your own, like apples, bake some apples, puree them, and throw in some steamed carrots.
Yeah, well, when she was in daycare, it really was a non-issue, because all of the kids, the kind of that peer pressure with all of the little kids, they'd all try everything on their plate. And her daycare is really great in that they cook everything from scratch. They have a garden there that they will plant seasonal vegetables and go out and pick them and cook whatever's in season. And they do all organic everything. So
That's amazing.
They don't even do like peanut butter and jelly. They do like sun butter and homemade fruit spread or something like that. So
you had me on they serve them food. Like you don't have to send her with the food already.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's so cool.
Amazing.
So now she's probably struggling a little bit, because now she's back to my cooking, and just like, I try to get, I've actually worked with her daycare about, what does she like eating at school, and what's a big hit with her. And so I was able to pick up some of those things at the grocery store and try and keep some normalcy and, healthy meal options for her.
Yeah. No, that's amazing.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with them when I found out that. So
that's incredible. Awesome. Yeah. So that's, I'm guessing when you're cooking, you're talking about dinner. Is breakfast pretty easy?
So she has one breakfast. That's the only breakfast that she will eat right now, and it's oatmeal. So she has oatmeal every morning with almond milk yogurt, and that's mixed in with whatever fruit we have. So like banana or raspberries or strawberries. And every single morning she wants oatmeal. So for the last months now, that's breakfast. And then she doesn't really want to sit down for lunch. She'll do a lot of snacking. So I'll give her like half of a sandwich, and then she'll pick at it and run off and play and come back and pick at it. And, I try and just give her like little carrots and stuff like that. So then it's primarily dinner that I really need to find good healthy meals that are going to stretch for everybody, because kind of the format of the house is that we take turns cooking. So.
And you still have your smoothies?
I do. That's what I have in the morning. So I'll basically, I'll have my coffee in the morning, and then I'll make my smoothie. And I would just go all day with just my smoothie until about dinner time. So that was kind of my um, intermittent fasting sort of thing is that I'd only eat between like 10 and 7. I'd have my smoothie about 10 o'clock, and then I wouldn't eat anything until dinner at like 6, and then nothing after that. Um, and that worked really well. Those smoothies are so nutrient dense after after I got them dialed in that I was full all day. So
Mhm.
I recently have been forgetting to make them in the morning and just going about my class because all of a sudden I'm like, oh God, what time is it? I have class on Zoom.
Mhm.
So, but
Yeah,
usually
so
that's my practice, is to make my coffee, my smoothie, and then just dinner.
yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, yeah, and like for everyone listening, I'm not saying that's perfect for everybody, but it sounds like it's working and perfect for you, Julie, which
Mhm.
is, it's it. Someone else might do better with smaller, more frequent meals, especially if they have this fast metabolism. But at least most of the moms I work with, I think the intermittent fasting tends to work better, but there are a few where it's different. I'm sure people are wondering what you put in your smoothies.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, there's so much. So, filtered water, organic coconut milk, which is just coconut and water, not with all of the gums and the binding agents. Um, I use a vegan protein, an organic vegan protein, a scoop of super greens, some fresh ginger, turmeric if I have it, fruit. So either I have frozen berries that I get from Costco, or I have a ton of frozen blueberries from our yard from last year. I'll put some spinach in. If the strawberries or the raspberries are starting to turn in the fridge, I put them in the freezer, and I'll keep those for smoothies. So it's primarily fruit. Um, what am I forgetting? Oh, flaxseed, maca root. I have like a super mushroom mix, so I put a scoop of that in there. I think that's it. But it changes here and there. Sometimes I'll put in some cinnamon or different kind of herbs.
Hmm. Is that based off of John Kemp's recipe?
Uh-uh.
Oh,
No.
okay.
So this
It's a little similar.
it was actually based off of some of the suggestions that you gave me, because I think when I first started the Super Busy Mommy program, I was just I was grabbing like a pre-made carton of protein shake on my way out the door, on my way out to campus, and you're like, okay, you
Yeah,
need
we're
some
gonna
actual
fix that.
food. Do you have a blender? I'm like, yes. So then, based on the suggestions that you gave me back then, I've kind of, added and changed, and so found what works. But um I really love maca root. I don't know. That was something that I'd never heard of before you. And I notice a difference when I don't have my smoothie because of the maca. It just gives me that extra burst of healthful energy. So,
Mhm.
and I notice a difference in my hormones, because I have a hormone condition. And so I noticed that when I'm consistently having my smoothie with the maca root, that it seems to kind of level out the symptoms of my hormone condition. So,
That's great. That's fantastic. Okay, so we have breakfast taken care of, no lunch, Liliana snacks, and we have some ideas for dinner.
mhm.
Do you need some more ideas for dinner, or you feel like you're set in that area for now?
I think I have enough to get started. Maybe we can revisit that. I'll put those into the rotation. We'll revisit at our next training session.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and just going back to like the formula for the stew, like throw in the veggies, throw in the meat, um, a liquid. Some liquids can be either if you have a high quality stock or bone broth, um, you can make your own as well. I make like a big pot of bone broth, maybe 4 times a year, and freeze it in mason jars, and I'll throw one of those in when I cook. Um, tomato, if you get like, just like a can of organic tomato sauce,
Mhm.
that can be part of your liquid with some water. Like cream of coconut or coconut milk. Like you said, you read the ingredients on them. I know you know what you're doing with ingredients. Yeah,
Yes, you taught
everyone
me
read the
well.
ingredients. Yeah. I'm glad. I'm proud. Yeah, I don't care what the box says. You look at the ingredients. Yeah, but that can be one. Yeah, stocks, broths, also like veggie scraps. This is something that I've been slacking on, and I finally did it. Quarantine has, in some ways, has its, I don't want to say upside because there are so many people suffering, but every situation has opportunities, and one of the opportunities has been to get more into cooking for me. And so, and veggie scraps, like when you peel an onion or you peel garlic, or like the parts you cut out of a pepper or the skins of a carrot or a squash or whatever it is, collect those. And then you can just say, once or twice a week, throw them in a pot and boil them and
Mhm.
then strain them. It doesn't really take much time because it's already cut. You don't have to cut them any more than they are. And then you literally just throw it in the pot, let it boil. Once it's boiling for a bit, lower it down to a simmer, but you don't have to stay there stirring it or anything.
Mhm.
So it just goes in the background, and you're home anyway. We're all home.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do anything other than make sure your house doesn't burn down because the stove is on. And then when it's done, let it simmer. You can let it simmer for hours if you want to, and then just put it through a strainer. You got two things to clean, and you're done. Throw it into mason jars or whatever, and then that could be something that you use when you're making a stew. But yeah, so there's the meat, if you're eating meat, the veggies, the the liquid. You can add beans or grains. Like I said, I do my grains on the side, but some people mix them in. Beans, you can throw beans in there or other legumes, and then pick an herb. Just like pick an herb or two. Smell them. See, do they smell well together? Do they smell good together? If they don't smell good together, they probably won't taste good together. If you're
Right.
not used to herbs, just pick one, throw it in, with some salt and pepper, and the herb just livens it up. Put like a little spice with that's black pepper if you want more. Put some red pepper. Put some, chop up a chili pepper, whatever you like. But that's pretty much like a formula you can use. So whatever you kind of have available on hand. If you like following recipes, by all means, go for it. I find for me that often doesn't work very much because I only get what I need. And so if I'm like, oh, let me check out a recipe, if I hadn't planned that a week ago, it's just not going to happen because I won't have anything.
I won't have everything that it calls for. Yeah.
Exactly. So by all means, if you can look at recipes, do, but that's kind of a simple formula to try if you are just winging it. And you can do that in a pressure cooker or in a slow cooker as well. It's the same formula. Mhm.
That
All
sounds
right,
easy enough.
It totally is. I once did a video of me meal prepping for the week in 30 minutes, and I literally had whatever happened over the weekend. I woke up a little bit early. I had to skip my workout this morning and instead spent 30 minutes just, chopping and putting stuff in a slow cooker, and it was done by the time I got home.
Mm.
So,
That's, that's the kind of meal prep that
yeah,
I
30 minutes for the entire week. But yeah, so that's food for now. Let's talk about those workouts.
Those workouts. Okay, so I saw really, really good results with your program last year, and I was able to maintain that for maintain the program and actually like pretty high levels of fitness for myself for probably 3 or 4 months, and then it just kind of slowly became missing a day here, missing 2 days a week, and it's just kind of slowly snowballed to where now it's more so I'm working out 2 or 3 days a week instead of missing 2 or 3 days a week. So I'm trying to get back from that. I have managed to keep my weight off and maintain, a much better level of health. But right now, my workouts kind of look like doing the hardcore routine, doing some push-ups, some weighted dips, um, and a variation of squats, like the split squats or regular squats and plie squats. And if I'm feeling really up for it, I'll even throw in some like deadlifts. But I'm just kind of trying to hit the main muscle groups whenever I have a minute. Um, so I've definitely noticed a change in kind of body composition over the last couple of months because I'm not getting the intervals in and I'm not getting as much cardio, and especially being in the quarantine schedule right now. I used to make a point of taking walks when I was on campus. I walked everywhere. I parked far away. I carried my bag around. I'd make a point of doing like a walking meditation because I struggle to get my meditations in. So I'd take like 20-minute walks around the entire camp and got me some more, exercise, as well as some mindfulness practice at the same time. So being home, I'm not getting that at all. So my my movement looks more like the active play, which is, I'll do squats and throw Liliana, but my body composition has changed, so I can only get maybe 10 of those before I'm dying. But that's kind of where I am right now.
Okay. Yeah, it totally makes sense. I feel like things go in cycles, right? So when we're busy moms, busy single moms, there's a lot on our shoulders, and often you can prioritize one or two things, um, and make those a main focus, but that's about it. And so when something else takes center stage, it's completely normal for um, some of the other things to have to move to the back burner, which doesn't mean you let go of them, but sometimes the emphasis on them goes down, which is exactly what you're describing. And that's not necessarily it's not necessarily a step back. As you continue with it, those things will become much more automatic. And when other things take center stage, more of that will still be present because it's
Mhm.
become just like more normal. But I know that doesn't necessarily address your concern right now. um, and so I'm kind of wondering, there are a few factors. When you're on a schedule, like you said, you can say, okay, this is my time I go for a walk. Right now, you can't go for a walk at all. When you're at home, though, there's no schedule. Everything just kind of blends all together. And then all of a sudden, it's 11 p.m. and you're like, wait, I need to go to bed. What just happened to the day?
Yeah.
And, like there's not that point. Like when there's a schedule and things are changing, you're like, okay, when this happens, that's when I do my workout. Those short bursts, this is when I do my push-ups. This is when I do my intervals. Whereas now it's all just kind of mushed together. Are you finding that? Okay, cool.
Yes, that's exactly. Because when I was doing the super busy mommy program consistently, I was, getting up early before Liliana and fitting in my 10-minute either intervals or, hardcore routine. And then I do a quick meditation, get ready for my day.
Mhm.
And then Liliana would be up. We'd get up and go out and leave the house. And, she'd go to school. I'd go to school. She'd go to daycare. We'd come home, play, do our active play, have dinner. I'd get her bathed and in bed. And then I could do my quick, 15-minute weight segment and then finish homework and go to bed. So that was like, I was really able to consistently fit in those 10-15 minute pieces. Because like you said, there were actual like slots for each thing, it was scheduled. And so I was able to squeeze those little blurbs in throughout the day. Or movement snacks. I think that's what John calls
Yep.
them, right? um, so I was able to fit those in more consistently. But since we've been home so much, it's just just flying by the seat of my pants all the time, and then suddenly I'm like, "Oh, why isn't she in bed yet?" Or that's another thing that I bump up against with her being home is she's not getting as much stimulation, so she doesn't wanna go to bed on time, and we're having some other, behavioral changes.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm really just having a hard time consistently finding space for my own fitness.
Mhm. Okay, give me one. I'm going to address that after I get this weird glare off my face. There's a window and the sun just started coming through. And give me 1 second because the way my apartment is, the lighting can kind of change. And whenever I start recording, usually I have to change lighting in the middle of it at this time of day. Um, okay, yeah. So I'm completely hearing what you're saying about the routine. And so I'm wondering what is the scheduling demands like for your schoolwork?
So I have basically classes start from go from 10 to 2 on Zoom. So they're not just like when you register for an online class, it's kind of self study. But because I was registered for all in person classes and we just had to switch to the virtual format, I'm actually meeting with classmates and my teacher on Zoom like we are today. And so I'm in that from 10 to 1 at least most days. But then outside of that, there's still coursework and homework. And so my parents help with Liliana during those times that I'm in class. Um, but then, there's I'm basically trying to fit in all the homework and the coursework and making her snacks and doing all of that once I'm out of class. So from 10 to 1 or 10 to 3, depending on whether I have the labs and stuff, is usually with my parents. Um, and I'm just in my room doing homework. But then that's why after that is just a blur. As soon as I leave my room and I'm on duty, it's just trying to fit everything in, whether I'm taking my homework down to the deck and playing with her and doing homework, or I'm in the kitchen trying to read my psychology book while I'm making a snack, or um, it just all before I know it, I'm like, oh God, it's dinner time. Oh, it's bath time. Like, you know. And then once I get her in bed, I am like, I typically have homework due still, and so I end up going back to homework until 10 or 11 at night, depending. Um, and some nights, if I'm lucky, I don't have any homework, but I feel like just
Yes, which you
so
should do sometimes. That's
yeah,
good.
so it's just kind of a blur. I don't know.
Yeah, Mary just made a big comment. Same situation for moms all over the world. Yeah, we're all going through that. And it's a matter of adjusting and finding that new normal, that new routine, or if the lack of routine works for you, but the new way of being, the new way of fitting everything all together. And so I'm wondering how we can add some elements of routine back into your life. So you have those times you're in class, and you're
Mhm.
just straight in class, and so that's your time to focus on that for sure. And then other than that, I'm wondering something like putting a timer on for once an hour to do a set of something. Um,
Okay.
and so you can do a segment from the Super Busy Mommy workout, or you could, even if you only get in one set, I know, there is a reason there's only 1 minute rest in between them. But what we could do is adjust it. I feel comfortable with your fitness level for you to do this. Um, so the 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 regimen I gave was for, building muscle mass primarily, and so the 1 minute rest is for partial recovery. That was the goal, partial recovery in between sets. Whereas if you're going for pure strength gains, it's actually good to have full recovery between sets,
Okay.
so that you're doing each set at your max. Both are good, just slightly different end goals. And so For you, let's say every hour you could do one set. If you can do a full segment, by all means, go ahead. But every hour, if you can do one set, I'd want to make sure you take a minute to kind of like warm up. So maybe do, like 30 jumping jacks, and then whatever joints you're going to be working out, just kind of like do like those arm circles or whatever to make sure those joints are nice and loose, and do your one set. And then the next hour, do another set. And so throughout the day, if you're doing that, other than 10 to 2, you can be getting in like 7 or 8 sets of things.
I mean, it would probably help me to do them between classes too, because I do have 5 or 10 minutes between classes, and especially sitting in front of the computer, it's nice to get up and move and get blood flowing again before I have to sit back down. So that's that's an awesome suggestion.
And so that'll work really well for the weights. And that can also work well for the intervals. It is nice to have the intervals for cardio. It is nice to kind of have some, movement in between them. But for pure power, with like the power burpees, for pure power, resting in between is actually fine. So you'll see a little bit of a different result from that. Different kind of performance boost. And so that's totally fine. The hardcore routine, that's great if you can do it all together just a few times a week. And then there's general movement, like the active play. And so I'm guessing if you're running around with Liliana, there's probably some of that worked in, but I'm wondering how to make it a little bit more intentional.
So, an example, like yesterday, we were playing out on our deck, and I turned on music, so we were doing kind of like dance party, but I was also doing lunges across the deck, walking lunges back and forth, trying to squats and throw her, and picking a squat and throw her. So that's about as creative as I've been able to get with it. So
let's see. I don't know. She might be a little young for this, but beach ball fights are fun.
Okay.
And those are ones that I'm thinking of indoor active play. That's one we'll do like indoor active play. Like chase each other around, hit each other with beach balls, and it's kind of fun. Do climbing on furniture is always fun. Kids seem to like that. I'm surprised my sofas haven't lasted, that long, but I wonder why. It's like, wait, they're ripping. I haven't even had them that long. I see my son climbing on them, jumping off. Oh, well, I guess that's why. But you know what? That's what they're made for, in my opinion. Okay. My house isn't a museum; it's a home.
Right.
And what were some of his favorites at his age? So indoor active play, he still loves this. Wrestling moves.
Okay. Wrestling.
Boom, onto the bed. Pick her up overhead, spinning around in circles, throwing down. Another one he likes is a game that he made up called 1, 2, 3. And the rules to 1, 2, 3 are that we count 1, 2, 3, and then we run and jump as high as we can onto the bed, and that's it.
I love it.
Yeah, and at 2 years old, she'll probably think it's hysterical. And yeah, so 1, 2, 3, yeah, and we just go. And I don't know if you have any beds on the second floor. The people downstairs won't like it very much. I'm really grateful to have a ground floor apartment with everything we do. Things like that. And I'm wondering if you can get that into a schedule at some point. So whether it's the days that you're cooking, maybe as things are kind of on the stove and you can't really put attention towards schoolwork, but you kind of have a little downtime, you can be kind of doing some active play with her. But remember the guidelines, just like variety of movement. So running, jumping, tumbling. She's old, like, she may like to try some little like tumbles on the floor if she sees you doing it, rolling on the floor, pushing, pulling, reaching, twisting. The variety of movements, any way you can work them in, is helpful to just keep your body moving and conditioned. And then I think you need a little fun, like what's a new challenge you can try, a new toy you can play with. something that isn't just part of the routine, but a little bit of fun. Like, do you do single leg squats at all?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so real quick, let me grab a dumbbell. Yeah, these are tough. It's one of those things I can only do when I'm practicing it. So if I start to fall over, just forgive me. Let me see if I can position this so that I can even be seen. Um, okay, on Instagram, I'm seeing, let me move this a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm doing on the other camera. All right, so for the single leg squats, you take a kind of a lighter dumbbell. Super busy mommy light, like 12 pounds, not like 3 pounds. I'm not talking about that. Yeah. And so the trick when you're doing them is there are different ways you can do it. You can do it this way. I think it's easier to get a little bit lower. You cross behind. And so you don't want to be all the way out here. You want to keep the back leg kind of right cross behind and use this to kind of leverage the weight a little bit to kind of go down as much as you can into that full squat. And then you can work in some balance if you try not to put that other leg down in between. And so finding some fitness challenges like that, just something a little bit new. My mic came out. I hope everyone can still hear me. Something a little bit new to work towards. So one of the things that I'm working towards is being able to do single like pistol squats. Oh no, our IG live just ended. Let's go back to it. It cuts you off after an hour. I'm gonna go live again. All right, it cut us off. Julie's joining again and we'll continue the conversation. And I guess it probably cut off in the middle of me doing single leg squats, but.
It was kind of towards the end. We were talking about throwing in the balance there. Let's see, it's not letting me in.
I can't hear you because the sound on my computer. Give me 1 sec. I shut that off because of the echo. All right, there you are. Hi, Julie. Hi again, Jefferson. All right, we're starting this up again. Sorry, Julie, what were you saying? I had the sound off on my computer to help with that echo.
I was just letting you know it cut out kind of towards the end of you showing the single leg squat. So you were talking about putting your leg down for keeping your leg up for the balance challenge while doing that. So we didn't miss too much.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so keep it like close behind, like almost like cross behind, and then that should be a fun one to try. Other fun ones to try. Some of the challenges I gave during the program that you did, like working up to handstands. I'm working up to being able to do pistol squats. I don't have the flexibility in my ankles that I need to be able to do that. So I've been doing.
I never was able to do that handstand, so I guess I should try that challenge again.
Yeah, there's a course. It comes to my feed all the time, and it's one that I'm gonna work into my challenges for myself. Like I like to have kind of something I'm working towards. And one of them is going to be this course specifically on how to do a handstand, and it's from someone who can help you work up to it. I'm not a gymnast, or so I'm going to listen to the pro on how to work up to that. Next time I see the ad come up in my feed, I'll share it with you in case you're interested.
Awesome.
Yeah. But things like that, just looking up, challenging workout routines. One of the ones, I think I showed this one to you too, with the stability ball. I know you have a stability ball. Let me grab it real quick. Let's see if I can put this in a way where you can actually see me. Hold on. We have letter number tiles all over the floor because Eric likes to use like the floor is lava. So Does anyone else have that issue where, like, given the world is dangerous enough, all of a sudden when you have a preschooler or a kindergartner around, the floor magically combusts into lava?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes things a lot more complicated. So anyway, this is one of the ones I think is pretty fun. Can you see me? Oh, there's this chair in the way.
I can see you on Instagram Live.
Okay, let's see. Come over here, you can kind of see me. I'll be able to do it to one side. But yeah, you can do tucks like that, but
yes, those will be entertaining.
That's
the
a
first
fun one
few
to
times.
try.
Yes, those entertaining the first few times.
What?
I'm sure it'll be entertaining for others the first few times I try that one. But
I lost you for a second. What were you saying? You cut out a bit.
Oh, I was just saying that pulling my knee in and around like that, it should be interesting the first few times I try it. I might roll off the ball. Like that. It should the first few times but I'll get there.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you can try. What about pull-ups? You mentioned you're doing push-ups.
So I can do assisted pull-ups. I never really got to being able to do a full unassisted pull-up. I do still have my pull-up bar up, and I will do it with like the chair underneath me. But, probably not as consistently as I was when I was doing the program.
Which doorway is it in?
It's in my bedroom doorway.
Okay. When you go in and out, do one.
Okay.
Even if you have to jump, just jump. Do as much as you can. And I don't know if you remember the steps to working up to it. You could do the assisted ones, but then when you get to the point, it's kind of hard to make the jump to unassisted ones. So in between there, do little mini ones. Like even if you're here and you can only go like down a little bit and up, do those. And then do ones where you jump up and slowly do the negative to come down. And then jump up, slowly do the negative to come down. And just make it, make it fun. Like don't be like, oh, I have to do a set of this. Just be like, oh, I'm walking into my room, jump up, slowly come down, and just move on with your day.
Okay.
But yeah, think of some fun things, fun challenges for yourself that you can just work in, so that it's not as routine, it's not as monotonous. It's something that you kind of want to try, like the one I told you when you said you saw with the taking the shirt on and off in the middle of push-ups. I didn't have to make time for work. I was like, I have to try that. I was like, it didn't matter how tired I was. I needed to try that. Thanks again, And so if you can find things like that, follow pages that have some creative ideas, more advanced, yoga poses where you're like, wait, I have to try that. Have you done any headstands since the program?
I have. Still, some days I'm better at them than others, but
yeah, like fun.
And also,
when was the last time you did a cartwheel?
Spine twist. There was that kind of loose arm spine twist thing. You do that almost daily. It really helps with back pain and keeping things, moving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. That's I do that pretty much daily too. What about like gymnastics things? Like when was the last time you did a cartwheel or a bridge or something?
I can tell you the last time I did a cartwheel.
Okay, so maybe the next time you're outside with Liliana, see if you can do a cartwheel. Like, what does that feel like? I don't even know. The last time I tried to do one, it just felt so freaky to move like that. I was like, I don't know about that. But now that I've been working on, like being more comfortable with my body in certain ways, maybe I don't know, we'll see. But think of something fun like that. things you used to enjoy doing, like gymnastics type things when you were a kid, or if you were more into sports, like is there like a dunk or like, hacky sack, how many can I do without dropping it? Or, whatever it is, just reignite that and like think of a fun thing that you can just have that you can pick up and try throughout the day, and then like switch it up every so often to keep things fresh, you know?
Okay. I
So
had a
yeah.
few ideas pop up when you were saying that. So like jumping rope, I used to love to jump rope. Even when I was years ago when I was really into like cardio kickboxing, jumping rope is still one of my favorite things. So it's probably something I could try and try and start again.
Yeah, that's perfect. And again, don't make it a workout where you're like, I'm going to do it for this many minutes, or, just pick up the jump rope, make it active play, fit it in there. Your workouts are your workouts. Make this your fun thing. Um, yeah.
Okay.
And let's see how that goes. So, all right, we've addressed the nutrition aspect. We've addressed the workout aspect. Um, is there anything going on? I mean, I know you're in a stressful situation, but is there anything you're having trouble coping with?
Not really. I I tend to manage things pretty well, and I think that has a lot to do with my mindfulness practice and just a lot of um, healing I've done over the last few years with myself. So I tend to manage my stressors and kind of my overwhelm in a lot more healthy manner. It's just been really my physical body that I've been wanting to work on. Because when I am working out and eating healthier, I have more energy and my mood is better and I'm sleeping better, and it just helps integrate all of the mindfulness practice with the stressful schedule and just helps everything go smoother. So it's really been the one area that I have was pushing aside was physical fitness and
Okay. All right, cool. So hopefully these action steps can get you going, and then when you feel like you've kind of gotten into it, we'll talk about other exercises to work in and how to vary the routine so that you don't plateau.
yeah. So, how important is it for me to like keep track of how much I'm doing each day? Because I know that um, with like the busy mommy program, I was keeping track of like my weights and how many I was able to fit in each day. And so, is that something I need to really make a point of doing with this format, or
That these are more like your own thing, and so I think if performance goals motivate you, like seeing the amount of weight go up each time, that is definitely helpful. I think one of if you're not going to remember it very well, you'd want to know like if your performance stagnates, and that could be a
okay,
sign that either the routine needs to be switched up or your diet needs to be switched up or something. And so we'd want to pay attention to like if you notice like, wait, for the past few weeks I've just been kind of doing the exact same amount, or especially if it goes in the opposite direction, like one week with your monthly cycle that could happen, but if it's other than that, all of a sudden you're like, wait, I was able to do this last week and I can't now. Those are some red flags to look out for. um, if you want to track it closely, if that motivates you, you definitely should. I'm not requiring it as much because we're going based on your goals, and so if your goal is just to feel like see changes in your body, then let's track that. If you're
okay.
whatever works. Okay. Okay, awesome. Any last questions for me before we sign off here?
I don't think so. I have a whole list of things to start working on, and
Awesome. So yeah, we'll be in touch in between these weeks. We'll schedule the next one for 2 to 4 weeks out. And those of you listening, Julie will be on again to share how things have been going, what her progress is like, the obstacles, the glitches that happen along the way. And we're keeping it all real. This isn't staged. This isn't, this is going to be 100% real. So you can keep track of Joy, send some support. And those of you in a similar situation, I'm hoping that you can take some of this for your own life. The one thing I want to mention before signing off is that I'm going to be hosting a free 30-day challenge. And the name of the challenge is Fight It, Don't Fear It, Master These Habits to Handle Any Crisis with Strength. And some of you know a little bit about, my quote unquote origin story of how the Super Busy Mommy coaching came to be. But it came out of me being in a crisis situation, losing my brother, my husband leaving 2 months later, business crumbling at the same time, financial disaster, fighting the bank to keep the home. And I realized that the only reason I was able to get past that is because I had the training in fitness, holistic health, some mindfulness experience in order to know how to be able to handle that situation and how to figure out something that would work. And then when I looked around to see, like, why wasn't I able to find this from anywhere else, I realized that the solutions weren't there. And so now I'm committed to making sure that the word is out so that any mom who's in a tough situation or a crisis knows that there are tools available and has the option to implement these in order to get through them, because I don't know how I would have gotten through them. And so given that we're in a crisis that's affecting so many people, I've put together a 30-day challenge to basically teach the habits that can help to get through something like this, to keep you strong from the inside out, your mind and your body. And so if anyone is interested in signing up, once again, it's 100% free. Just send me a message. I'm ready to fight on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you're listening to this. Just message me, I'm ready to fight, or visit superbusymommycoach.com and you'll be able to register. It's going to be the 30 days leading up to Memorial Day. So it'll start April 23rd. And this is going to be a different kind of get ready for summer challenge, because we don't know what summer 2020 is going to be like at all. But whatever it is, we are going to be a group of supportive, strong moms who are going to kick it off right. And so, no, this is not a bikini season thing. This is because we busy single moms need these tools. We need this type of support for ourselves in order to crush the demands that life throws at us at any time. So yeah, we're getting ready for summer the right way. And if anyone is interested in joining, message I'm ready to fight or go to superbusymommycoach.com. Julie, I want to thank you so much for being on here, for being willing to share your story and speak so openly with everyone who's listening. I know that it's going to be helpful for so many moms who are facing a lot of the challenges that you're facing, to be able to hear solutions and then see how it develops over time.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're just a total badass and inspiration. It's always a pleasure speaking with you.
Just doing the best I can every day. Isn't that what we're all doing?
Absolutely. And you're crushing it. So yeah, thanks again. And we will definitely be chatting soon.
Okay, sounds good.